Pinegrove 1111 album review. Let's chat about it. Hey guys, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning here tonight to chat about this latest from New Jersey-based band Pinegrove. They've been at it for a few years now, blending the sounds of indie rock, indie folk, Americana, even some emo in a weird way. And back in the day, I was kind of perplexed by their debut album Meridian. I mean, I got their approach to these genres while blending in some math rock. I get it, I respect it, but it wasn't for me. But around the time of their Cardinal album, I really thought that they were putting out just very heartfelt, very easy to listen to, and easy to take in indie rock. Just very pleasant, very catchy, very memorable. It honestly gave me a lot of hope for modern indie, and I could say a lot more of the same for Skylight. This album was so heartfelt, so pure, so passionate. It once again gave me so much hope. Like, I can't be in a bad mood listening to this album. It's glorious. And while maybe not as expansive or having as many influences, I still thought 2020's Marigold was a pretty listenable, likable album. Even if I get why a lot of fans were turned off by this album. Now, it's been a few years since we've heard from them, and truthfully, I haven't been that into the singles that they've been putting out lately. They do seem, a little bit more on the experimental side, at least for Pinegrove, a little out of the box, but it's just not rubbing me the right way. That's not to say that there's not any good moments on here. There's plenty. I actually think the album intro, Habitat, is actually pretty good. It's a grower for sure, though. I mean, I was not feeling it at first, at all. I mean, I don't know how many people, especially even Pinegrove fans, were pining for a Pinegrove track that's over 6 minutes. But truthfully, it's super passionate. It's wonderfully wrote. I love how visual it is. And it is a little on the crunchier side. It's a little electric. But I don't think that's a bad thing. As a matter of fact, I think it makes things pretty catchy. And while, yes, some of the more progressive elements of this track I could really, I don't know, do without. But I do think the ending harmonies make up for it, and I think this is a pretty good opener. Iodine is also really nice. Once again, I don't really know my feelings on if I was really, yearning for that really strong, powerful, plus 5-minute Pinegrove track. But yet here we are, and honestly, it's really passionate. It's really heartfelt once again. I mean, it's just so warm. It feels like home for me. It doesn't get much better than this here. And instrumentally, it's just so nice. I mean, between the pianos and the plucked riff, it's just very warm and cozy. It almost reminds me of like some Midwest emo. Flora is also really good, even if it is a little cookie cutter and by the books. I mean, this is kind of Pinegrove, like, by the books. This is textbook Pinegrove, but with the amount of bland and heartless folk that we do get on this album eventually. We'll get to that. I cannot tell you how enjoyable this is. It's pleasant, but I will say this. If I heard a whole album in this vein, I don't know if I'd be into it. And So What is really good too. As a matter of fact, the southern twang on this track is really classy. It's something I wish they really pushed into more. I do love some of the references as well that we get here. It's just a really solid track overall. Just filled with such a purpose, and at the end of the day, that's all I can ask for. I wish we got more stuff like this here, but the fact is, we don't. As a matter of fact, a lot of this album just does not hit me very well. Alaska is where I draw the line. When I first heard this as a single a while back, I didn't hate it completely, but it's lessened on me a lot ever since. It is so flashy and so clean for some odd reason. This sounds like Pinegrove trying to recreate a Mumford & Sons track. No heart, no soul, zero passion. But even in a sort of ultra clean radio alternative kind of sense, they've done that better in the past than they do on tracks like this. Whoa, Nelly, Orange is really, really, really bad. A light on the ears and emotional folk track is one thing. But this track is so uneventful, and it is so uninspired. How do I have nothing to say about a track like this? This sounds like something that would have been a knockout, but hearing this months ago actually lessened my excitement for this album a lot. At the end of the day, I wish this album, really moved me, but it doesn't. I mean, Respirate is warm and cozy for sure. And vocally, it's okay. It's not the worst track here. But this is nothing new. This is frustratingly safe. It sounds nice, and there's nothing wrong with that. But years ago, Pinegrove was making me think that indie rock maybe wasn't out of ideas. But now we have this, and it's so safe. And Let is even more safe. I don't know how it's even possible. I'm all for a stripped down, teary-eyed ballad indie rock style. As a matter of fact, I love that. But this is passionless. I mean, some of these lyrics are packed with so many cliches. How did we get here? I mean, it's certainly not the worst thing in indie I've heard recently, but like, come on. All of the majesty of this band seems out the window. Swimming is also, like, fine, even though it's a little sluggish. I wish it picked up a little bit, but I don't think that's the problem. Once again, we are dealt with a very uninspired vocal performance with zero heart and soul. It's very average. Nothing about this is grabbing me to listen to it again. But then we do get some late album treats. I mean, Cyclone. What a weird track this is. This sounds like a 90s one-hit wonder, but it works. It genuinely has more passion and more heart than 90% of the material on this album. It's seriously well wrote. It's well produced. It is incredibly passionate. The performances here all around are great. Easily the best deep cut here. And the 11th Hour as the finale, it's not the best track here. It is a little underdeveloped. I wish they really, focused on this sound more. Maybe this made this track a little bit longer. But it's broken down. It's bluesy. It's a little rugged even. I don't know where this sound has been this whole album. I wish we heard more of it. I actually think they pulled it off really well. If they were going to go for a more rugged sound, I don't see why they don't try this a little bit more often. This album's a mess, honestly. I mean, Pinegrove for the last couple of years has been pumping out albums that, have given me some hope for indie rock. The passion, the performances, the heart. It's all been on display time and time again. Then I hear this and most of that passion is out the window. The experiments on this album are here, but most of them flop. And honestly, I wish they kind of went more for the southern twang of this album. I wish they went for that more rugged sound that they show on a few tracks here, because there are some great moments. I don't know, it just doesn't have that human touch of their truly great albums of a few years ago. I mean, for an album titled 1111, I certainly wish I was listening to something else. I'm feeling a strong 5 on this album, but let me know what you guys think down below. If you liked the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below if you would like me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, guys.